नमस्कार एंड वेलकम एवरीवन। कहते हैं हर किताब के अंदर एक कहानी होती है, लेकिन अफसोस किताबें बोल नहीं सकती। लेकिन स्पीकिंग बुक में हम इसी सोच को बदलने की कोशिश करते हैं। यहाँ ऑथर नहीं किताबें बोलती हैं और उस किताब की आवाज बनकर आते हैं उनके खुद के ऑथर्स। आज भी हम एक ऐसी ही इंस्पायरिंग किताब के साथ यहाँ आपके सामने हाजिर हुए हैं, जिसने हजारों लोगों को अपनी सोच बदलने और जिंदगी में आगे बढ़ने की हिम्मत दी है। आज हमारे साथ है मिस्टर ईरल, लेकिन आज वो सिर्फ एक ऑथर बनके नहीं, बल्कि अपनी किताब बी अनस्टॉपेबल की आवाज बनकर हमारे साथ होंगे। तो चलिए वेलकम करते हैं आज के हमारे स्पेशल गेस्ट को। वेलकम करने से पहले मैं आपको इस बुक के बारे में और इसके ऑथर के बारे में थोड़ा बताना चाहूंगी। Be Unstoppable is much more than a motivational book. It's a practical guide for everyone who wants to break free from limitations and become the best version of themselves. Through the power of unstopped code, the book teaches readers how to change their mindset, build resilience, develop leadership, and create a life full of purpose. It's a reminder that your past doesn't define you, your choices do. और इसके ऑथर मिस्टर ईरल, his journey is nothing short of extraordinary. From humble beginnings in Mumbai, overcoming personal struggles, starting life from scratch in a new country, and even becoming a CEO and a global business leader. His story is a proof that determination and discipline can change the course of a person's life. Every lesson in this book comes from his own experience, making it authentical, relatable, and deep inspiring. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome the author of the book, Be Unstoppable, Mr. Eden. Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, Ridhima. How are you doing?
I am doing great, sir. Great. And how do you feel that today you are here in a session where your book will talk? You are talking on behalf of your book. So, how is this feeling?
Yeah, it's exciting. I've never done something like this before. So I'm talking on behalf of something and trying to do something different, which I'm not. So it's an uncomfortable place, but I'm happy to do that because I like uncomfortable places.
Great, sir. Great. So I will ask you a few questions, and we'll try to bring out the best of your book, Be Unstoppable.
Sure.
So, so my first question would be little to know about like why Be Unstoppable chose you as an author and not somebody else.
Uh, uh, I think the author chose me simply because I think he understood something that many people overlook. They basically they carry extraordinary potential within themselves, but they look for answers outside in others, in different motivational speeches and different things in life, and they basically have self doubt, comfort, or circumstances. I think the author, he didn't write me because he believed that he had all the answers. I think he simply wrote me because he lived through challenges, setbacks, victories, moments, milestones, self-discovery. And I think, and that taught him one powerful lesson, success isn't where you start. It's all about the journey, the decision you make every single day. I think the author wanted to create something that people could return to every time they get stuck or they find when life becomes difficult. So I think, he wanted to have people have a companion that would remind them of when they have setbacks, when they go through difficult patches in life, when they're not performing, when they look at excuses. And I think the idea is to show them that how if they start believing themselves, they can do a lot more better. So in many ways, I personally think I wasn't written because I sit on a bookshelf. I was written to sit in someone's heart and someone's table in front of them to be like a mirror, that this is a mirror for them to see that, hey, this is exactly what you are.
सो इरल जी, इस पूरे कॉन्वर्जेशन में आपने एक बहुत अच्छी लाइन कही कि सक्सेस इज नॉट समथिंग व्हेन यू अचीव इट, सक्सेस इज द जर्नी। आई थिंक अगर ये चीज हम सब समझ जाएं तो इट बिकम्स वेरी इजी, बिकॉज जनरली सक्सेस इज इंटरलिंक्ड विद अ गोल, दैट ये गोल है तो सक्सेस
Absolutely.
है, बट एक्चुअली सक्सेस इज अ जर्नी।
Absolutely.
राइट। So, reading Be Unstoppable, if somebody picks Be Unstoppable from a bookshelf today, what journey
Yeah.
this book takes from the first page to the last page to that reader?
So basically, what it will not take them through chapters. So basically, although the book has been written in the form of chapters, but it's not chapters, right? It takes them through themselves. It gives them a deep dive into themselves as what they are, where they came from, what their background was, and at first they probably recognize part of themselves that they've ignored for so many years, right? I said we all keep looking for kind of motivation outside ourselves or within our society or friends or family, but the actual motivation is within us, and they keep finding excuses, right? Also because the world has told them that they're not good enough, they're never going to succeed, they're used to failing. Okay, and then basically, I encourage them to replace why me with why not me. So that's the
Okay,
difference, right? It's not why me versus why not me. And as they continue reading, they'll begin to realize there's confidence starts emerging, which isn't something people are born with. A lot of people are born with low confidence, right? Because of their means in life, where they are born and the kind of situation they are born in. I think confidence is something that you build over time, right? And but it has to happen from within. People can talk to you and support you, but finally you've got to decide that, hey, I'm going to go on this journey by myself. So unless you decide that you're going to go on this journey yourself, you cannot become confident. And by the time they read the final page of the book, I hope they won't close the book, right? That's my intention out here. I hope they'll open a new chapter of their life every day. They'll find similarities as to how life, can get difficult, but how they can get out of situations. And 80%, 90% people have similar situations in life there, right? Because I said transformation doesn't happen while reading, it happens after the reading is completed. So it's very important for people to read the book from start to finish. Yes, they may not finish it at one go, but the idea is to continue reading it till they've ended up, because then it gives them a good 180, 360 view of what they can do in their lives.
true. I totally agree with it. So, whatever pages that is there in the book, what
Yeah.
emotions do those pages carry that you really hope that the reader experiences those emotions while reading the book?
See, I as a book and the content I carry in that is basically is to carry hope for those people who've lost hope in life. Right? That's very simple. I think that's a very strong emotion. People lose hope. So for
Right.
me, the content in this book by the author is to give people hope who fell lost in life. It's about giving courage to people who are standing in crossroads in their life. They don't know what to do, how to do, why to do. It gives strength to people who have been knocked down, who've been thrown off gear, who don't know how to move ahead in life. It's humility for those who achieve success, because success can make you a different personality, but it'll ensure that you're humble. I think humility is very important to your journey in life to be successful continuously, right? It's also got gratitude for every lesson that life offers you, very
Mhm.
importantly. And most importantly, I think I, as a book, carry belief that things are doable. Yes, they are difficult to do, but if you are consistent and you're persistent and you find that confidence that you develop over the years, you can find your way through any situation in life. It doesn't matter. Some
Right.
pages of the book will make readers smile, some will make them uncomfortable, some may bring tears to some people. I don't know, but that's the feedback I've got. But I think every emotion serves one purpose, is for them to move forward in life, right? Don't look behind your shoulder. Don't look what you've left behind. Don't look what you've lost. It's basically telling them how to look forward in life. Because for me, growth begins the moment we become emotionally connected to our own potential. So it's very
Correct.
important to understand that at the end of the day, that if you want to be successful, you have to connect with yourself and what your potential is.
True. I think you named so many emotions that a reader can go through while reading
Yeah.
this book. And I highly recommend people to read this book. This book is available on Amazon, Be Unstoppable by Aaron. And this book has actually touched many hearts, not only in India, but overseas. He himself is overseas promoting the book and, changing life, transforming lives. So I think एक journey होती है book की ईरल जी that the book is getting written and then finally it reaches to a stage where it is published and reaches to people. So uh, how does a book feel like this? Like how does Unstoppable felt once it was actually published and the readers were reading it, got them in hand? So publishing is actually a very big milestone for any book. So what do you think the book feels?
Yeah, I think as a book, the way I feel, imagine spending months, even years, for example, forming these thoughts in your head, in someone's mind, and having to put it on paper. And then once you put on paper, you're suddenly no more private. Yeah, you become public. You're in people's houses. You're in people's mind. You're in people's hearts. You're on their bedside table. You're in their backpacks. You're with them on flights. I think that's a remarkable feeling for a book, right? Because I think the journey for a book doesn't end when it gets published. I think the journey is just the beginning when it gets published. So I think it was my first breath when it got published as a book, right? So it's basically it's like how a child is in a mother's womb for 9 months and then you're out in the open. After that, the first breath of fresh air you're feeling. So that's how I the book I feel once it got published from that point of view. And I think from that moment onwards, every reader has given me a new purpose because I've had readers who read and left remarks on social media and on my personal email. And every time someone opens the cover of the book, for me the journey becomes all over again. So
True.
if they read it once or recommend somebody, is help somebody else in their journey. So I think the journey of a book never ends. It's a continuous process till it gets published. So I think the publishing part is the first part of the thing, but I think the getting the once it's published, the journey of the book begins and it never dies, I think.
True. And I think it will live on even after everybody else is left. So basically it's something that is going to stay as a legacy for people, not only in this
Absolutely.
generation, but coming generations as well. And I think
Absolutely.
everybody needs motivation, and there is a time where people lose it in their lives, and this book can be really helpful in that phase of anybody's life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. थ्रू द अनस्टॉप कोड जो भी आपने इस बुक में दिया है, व्हाट डू यू थिंक दैट व्हाट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन a reader can get in their life after reading this book fully? What transformation, what change they can feel in their life?
See, I think if people go through the entire book and they read it from start to finish, and with all these the supporting documents out there, the examples out there, I hope they stop searching for to seeking permission from people.
Hmm.
The only permission you need is from yourself. Too many people in life wait for someone else to tell them how good they are. Are they ready? Are they going to be successful? I think, are they ready to lead? Are they ready to start? Are they ready to start a new venture? Are they ready to take the risk and start a business or get into a new role? So I think, for me, people have to stop searching for permission, because the only permission you need in life is from yourself, from within. It's very important, right? But we keep seeking, and all through the journey of life of people, they keep seeking permission for every small thing because they are worried that they may they may make a mistake, they will fail, they will stumble, they'll hurt, and they will not be able to kind of get back on their feet and start the journey again. So they're always seeking for constant permission. But I believe that you have to go on that journey, make mistakes, fall, get up, learn. That helps you to run faster, makes you more agile, and makes you more successful in life, right? So life, I believe, rewards to those who decide to take firm decision. If I can help someone shift from being a spectator in their own life to becoming the author of their future, I think I've done exactly what I've been created for. So it's very important to understand that, because if someone is wanting to make that shift, don't seek permission. You have to stop being a spectator sitting on the outside and come inside and become the performer to be able to get the result that you want for yourself.
True. I'm sure this changes the perspective, and I think अगर एक जना भी एक reader भी, if somebody can become an action taker in their life, I think this book serves its purpose, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right. So, if some reader comes to you and say that this book has inspired them, this book has
Yeah.
changed them, this book have transformed them, what do you think this book would feel like? Even one reader comes up to and say, and this book, I'm sure readers must have come to you and said that this book has inspired them,
Yeah.
or transformed them, or changed their mindset.
Yeah.
What do you think? What is the feeling?
See, as a book, I think, every message is very deep and personal. But when readers uh, comment and leave messages, and I've received a lot of it from the book perspective. uh, I think it tells me that people have found confidence. They have found themselves. They have stopped seeking permission in life. When a leader comes back and tell me that he's become more courageous, he's taking more risk, calculated risk, not undue risk. When a student said that he has stopped believing that they weren't good enough, or a young entrepreneur says that, hey, he's finally started his business which he had stalled for a couple of years because he was not sure he wanted to do it. So I think all those feedback that keeps coming back to me and coming back to the author, I think those becomes the important part of the story for me as a book, because for me, then the book, then the message has landed well. People have accepted it and they're doing something about it, and that's what the journey of the book is to be able to get people to take action. Not I said the success doesn't lie in the reading, it's in the action once you take after you've read the book, and how you implement the narrative in the book to change your perspective, take risk, and become a more confident person in your life.
Right. So people watching this show must know that we're talking about the book called Be Unstoppable. It's available on Amazon. The author himself is here to talk about it. He's telling us that this book has a power of changing your perspective, your mindset, and motivating you, the motivation that everybody needs. So please go ahead, buy this book on Amazon, and do not forget to leave a review, because I think reviews change. Reviews are the thing which can motivate the author and the book itself, as well. And can we can come to know that yes, we are changing lives. Okay, so now talking about the title, Be Unstoppable. Do you think this title has justified what is there in the content, and this title has fulfilled the promise? Like, this title justifies everything what is there you wanted to talk about in the content.
Absolutely, because see the way I said, when the author decided to kind of narrow down the name "Be Unstoppable," it was basically trying to tell the reader that they do not have to justify themselves, right? They have to look inside versus looking outside. And I sincerely hope, right? I sincerely hope that it has stopped making people look for motivation, because the title "Be Unstoppable" is that it's very simple, that you cannot afford to take two steps and stop, because if you stop, your journey ends at that point of time. If you decide to start something, you have to finish it, push so hard that you think that, okay, I am not going to stop till I'm going to be successful, or I'm going to reach my target or my destination or my goal. That's why the title was chosen by the author. Be Unstoppable is telling people that you can embark on a journey by reading this book, but if you stop midway, you're not going to reach the destination. So the idea was basically to tell people that you have to push till they reach what they want to achieve, where they want to, what goals they want to get to, and to what level of maturity they think they want to become as human beings in their life eventually.
True. Definitely, definitely. So
Yeah.
I would also know that this book has lots of chapters. So what do you think
Yes.
is the chapter which is closest to your heart?
See, I think there was definitely the feedback I've got, and personally for me, there have been a lot of couple of good chapters. But one of the chapter was, which is very simple and for easy people to remember. A lot of people have come back with the feedback was the 5% strategy. So basically, you don't have to go from 0 to 100. You can
Hmm.
look at increments in your life by 5% or even 1% or 2% on a daily basis, because the moment you put that into motion, you're getting a 1% or a 2% push and growth in your life to where you want to get to. Because sometimes people think, oh, I have to get to 100%, the journey is too long, and before starting the journey they say, I don't want to get on the journey. So I think that chapter resonated with a lot of people because it helped them to say, hey, I don't have to achieve big things in life. I can achieve the smaller things which will eventually end up me achieving a big thing. So I think that's where for me that resonated really, really well. I think from that point of view, it is very, very important. And yes, of course, I think from the point of view of being able to build confidence and self-belief, I think those two chapters were very strong and very powerful. And a lot of feedback came back from a lot of the people that I think that resonated with them a lot. Although a lot of the chapter resonated with different people depending on their situations in life, depending on the conditions in life, at what stage of the life is. But I think a lot of feedback and prominence came from that, and that was also very close to me because there was a lot of effort put in by the author to kind of get those chapters right.
True. And actually, this teaches a very big lesson that it does not matter that you reach from 1 to 100. If you are able to make a progress of even 1% daily, that is it. That
Absolutely.
is the journey of success, right? True.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
if Be Unstoppable today is put in a library, what do you think will be
Yeah.
surrounded books? What people can relate to? What kind of books it will be within?
I think very similar books, that challenge the conventional thinking, that gives people hope, gives people courage, gives people belief. Leadership, books that basically help people with about leadership. How leadership to lead with humility in life. What does resilience look like in life? How you can be resilient in your life. And I think it's very important because I would like to sit besides books that don't simply entertain readers, because there are some books that entertain readers and they'll read it and night. But I would like to have them, elevate them in their life. So if people have read me and read these books which I'm sitting around, they feel elevated. They feel, oh yes, I feel that difference. I feel, my kind of aura changing a bit, my thinking changing a bit, and the way I'm going to think is going to do things is going to change. So together we become like, I would like to be in a collection of book that just doesn't fill shelves, but it fills
Yeah,
people's life with a lot of possibility and hope.
true. So does Be Unstoppable also wants to get translated to multiple languages so that it reaches to a message wherein everybody is involved?
Absolutely. See, I think a book has got no nationality, no linguistic requirement. I think, definitely, the more the merrier, because for me, the more people can read it and resonate with it. Yes, I would love it to be transferred into various languages, because for me, hope and opportunity belongs to everybody. It's not only for the few, the chosen few who read the book, right? So if it's able to kind of be translated in different languages, whether it's in the Middle East in Arabic, or in South America in, it's Spanish, or it's in Europe in France in French, or Italian, I'm saying, I think this book can cross borders, because, and the more borders it crosses, I think it will help people across borders to look that, hey, I'm staying in one part of the world, but people on the other side of the world have the same problem. So
True,
yes, I would definitely love to be transparent as many languages as possible.
true. So I think people got their answer that this book is ready to get translated. So anybody who would love to help in that, the author is open. So do you actually, as personally as an author, do you also feel a connection with readers who have experienced rejection, loss, failure, or self doubts? Do you feel a connection with them?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I said that's been my journey, and I think because every reader, every author arrives with a certain story in their life, right? And everyone's got a unique story to tell out there. Some are celebrating, some are grieving, some are searching, right? And although we may not meet each other, right? But I think we are all connected with one shared belief that life can always become empowering, can become more meaningful if you go looking for it. If you don't go looking for it, you will not find meaning in your life. So I'm privileged to be a part of the journey with a lot of the readers and connect with them on that aspect out there.
True. And one promise, if you would like to make to a reader, like if they read this book, this promise
Yeah,
that you want to make, that this will, if you open this book, this will be done in your life. So that what will be that one promise?
I think the promise that I would like to make people is that never underestimate yourself. Never underestimate, right? Even on days when you doubt, even on days when you're feeling lazy, even the phase where you got pain in your body, when you're being overworked, you have to have faith in yourself. So that's the promise I would never like to underestimate, that people stop believing in themselves, because the moment you stop believing in yourself, you've lost the battle, you've lost the journey, and you lost as a human being. So I think that's very important, and that's the promise I would like to give to readers, that stop. Never, the promise is to never underestimate yourself. And because see, the future is much larger, right? The world is so big and there's opportunity for everybody. But if you keep underestimating yourself, you will never reach your full potential. You'll never reach the full kind of the milestone you want to reach in your life. So they have to continue moving forward. They cannot stop, and that's why I said the book Be Unstoppable. You cannot stop. You have to continuously move. If you're successful, you need to keep moving. It's just a, oh, because I'm successful now I'm going to stop moving. No, you need to continue moving to the next milestone in your life.
True. And if this book has to be described in one word, will it be a friend to a reader, a mentor to a reader, or an inspiration to the reader?
Uh, okay, that's a very interesting question, actually. For me, I would say it would be all three, because I hope to feel like a friend who understands your struggles, a mentor who's challenging you and helps you in your thinking, and hopefully probably an inspiration that reminds you what's possible. But if I have to choose one of them, right? I would choose a trusted companion. So I would say that I would like to be a trusted companion, because life isn't perfect, right? Doesn't have perfect moments. You'll have everything going up and down. So basically, those moments when encouragement matters the most, I think I could be a trusted companion. So that's the way I would describe myself to my readers.
Great. So this book is a trusted companion to everybody. So I think this book deserves, your bookshelves deserves to be read. So please go ahead and read the book. I think, what do you think the book feels happier? Any book will feel happier at when someone buys it, or someone reads it, or someone actually transform their life after reading it. What is the best scenario for a book?
I think for a book, the best scenario is not when somebody buys it. I think when somebody reads it start to finish, and then implements what's there, or at least picks up a few of those stories in that, imbibes it, and does something about it, right? Or when somebody gets promoted because they have been courageous, they have taken risk in their career and say, okay, I'm going to take this risk, I'm going to get into a project which I'm not confident, but I'm going to get into it and succeed, right? So for me, that's when I probably feel the happiest, because it basically it helps people. As I said, it's all about hope and believing in yourself. So basically, books don't change life. It's just a methodology to read something and okay, feel good about it. But what you do after reading the book is going to be critical. So for me, that's where I feel happy, when people have actually used some of the explanations and the solutions provided in the book to actually implement it and improve their lives.
So I think, Iril, you actually became a good voice to your book, and you tried to explain us what lies in it. So any
Yeah.
last message that you would like to give to our viewers, like in case they plan to read this book, buy this book, any last
Yeah.
message that you would like to give to them as an author, as per your book? Anything?
Yeah, I think for people who are watching this, right? So remember this: life will never be perfect. There's always going to be reasons to wait, to doubt yourself. There will be obstacles. There'll be uncertainty. But every remarkable achievement in life or in history began with one ordinary person deciding not to give up. Right? One ordinary person. For example, the guy who invented KFC was already 65. Now, it tells you that at 65, a lot of people retire in their life, right? But he started his journey and created a successful business model. So don't allow your fears or age to become stronger than your dreams. Don't measure yourself against someone else's timeline. If somebody is on the same journey with you and he or she is more successful, it's got nothing to do how good or bad you are. Their journey is different, their time scale is different. So don't compare yourself with somebody, right? You need to measure yourself against the person you were yesterday. So you have to become your own competition. Don't try to become competition with somebody else. The moment you make yourself your own competition, I think you will start winning battles, you will start winning races, and you'll start being more successful in life. Believe a little more in yourself, and it'll help you to succeed in your life.
Definitely a very beautiful message. And thank you, Mr. Eril, for being your voice to the book, Be Unstoppable, and sharing his journey. It was a truly wonderful experience of talking to you. We already have done a podcast which is also available on our channel, guys. So I think he is being unstoppable, telling people to be unstoppable. So it's great to have you, sir, here again, and you took out such time at a short notice. Thank you so much. And we would love to continue this discussion in some other session. So thank you for being a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ridhima, and thank you for all your support. Have a lovely day.
थैंक यू. सो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का स्पीकिंग बुक का सेशन समाप्त होता है. आज हमने जिस बुक के बारे में बात की, उस बुक का नाम था बी अनस्टॉपेबल. और हमें पता चला कि अगर आप अपनी लाइफ में अनस्टॉपेबल बनना चाहते हैं तो द मोटिवेशन लाइज विद इन यू. एंड डेफिनेटली इस बुक को पढ़ के आपको, आई एम श्योर, अपनी लाइफ की कुछ डायरेक्शन का जरूर अंदाजा होगा, आपको अपनी स्ट्रेंथ्स का अंदाजा होगा और आप अपनी लाइफ को ट्रांसफॉर्म कर पाएंगे. ये बुक Amazon पे अवेलेबल है, तो इसे जाके जरूर पढ़िए, रिव्यूज छोड़िए, एंड आई एम श्योर दिस बुक हैज अ पावर ऑफ चेंजिंग योर लाइफ. और हम मिलते हैं स्पीकिंग बुक के नेक्स्ट एपिसोड में, जिसमें हम एक और इंस्पायरिंग बुक, एक और इंस्पायरिंग ऑथर के साथ हाजिर होंगे और आपको और लाइफ लेसन्स के साथ कोशिश करेंगे कि हम आपकी लाइफ ट्रांसफॉर्म कर सकें. सो अंटिल देन, कीप रीडिंग, कीप शाइनिंग. थैंक यू सो मच.